I never knew Foley existed until I was 19. So like growing up in Morocco, all the movies were either in French and Arabic. So when I came here when I was 14, I thought everyone spoke French and, especially actors. So, then I remember I saw an actor from this like soap opera I was watching in French. I went up to them, I was like, oh my gosh, you speak French, it's so cool. And they're looking at me like I'm crazy. They don't speak French. I didn't realize they dub it in French. So when I was 19, I went to a studio and this guy was doing Foley. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, yeah, I'm like, vice grips for gun movement, like door handles. He's like, yeah, this is Foley. I'm like, are you kidding me? So then that's when I opened up the yellow pages and looked for every studio out there, and I called them and asked them to teach me, and one did. A lot of studios are in Burbank area, LA, Burbank. So you need a Foley stage. Basically, it's soundproof. A lot of people are asking me, are you doing it in your garage? You can't do it in your garage. You have to soundproof it. You have to isolate the sound, the ground, the surfaces. There's a lot that goes into it. You need microphones. You need a closed mic and a far mic. You need a ton of props. You need a computer program called Pro Tools. It's the industry standard that they record and they mix in. And you need the speakers, preferably some that with, like, for example, I know Warner Brothers mixes the majority of my shows. So I had to go and do research and see most of their rooms, what is the speaker that they use that the dubbing mixer and the client listens to. Most of their stages have a certain speaker. So I went and bought those for my mixer. When he or she are listening, they're listening to what the dubbing mixer is going to get. So some speakers may sound too thin, too thick, but I wanted to come as close to it as possible. So I got in touch with the IT department and like, hey, so what do you use? And did a lot of work, a lot of research. This job was 26 years ago. My gosh, taking me way back. I cannot remember. I know it was like a UFO kind of movie. This company UFO used to do all it was in a sci-fi channel. And I remember there was a guy walking down in a spaceship, simple walk. I could not hit the sink. I had to do it like 100 times to get him going down, just walking, simple walk. So that was 26 years ago this month. So I really choose the people I work for. I worked for 10 years with this studio called Salami Studios, and Nickelodeon and PBS hired them to do a lot of the cartoons there. So that's how I did Avatar, I did Mucha Lucha. Mucha Lucha was more Warner Brothers. We did some Scooby-Doo, Clifford the Big Red Dog, which I believe I get the daytime Emmy for it. And Jakers, also I got the daytime Emmy nomination for it as well. So we did a lot of fun cartoon things. So I did that. That was my main job while I was going to school. I would go to college during the daytime, and at night I would do Foley. So I did that. And then I was also working other jobs like site TV, like The Fringe and all that stuff. I had the kids as well. I was married and I had my kids, and all working to go to med school. So I got my biology degree and I went to med school for 2 years, and I did my master's in business as well while I was in med school. And my kids like, Mom, we don't want you to finish. Like, we don't want you to do clinical rotations. We want to be with you. So the word got out and people found out I was back, and immediately got offered jobs. And here I am. My science background helped me building my stage. The physics, the chemistry, everything, like the sound, how it travels, how to mic stuff to make, what sound to make stuff bigger, how to mic stuff to make it bigger, building my stage, like, to make like my water pit. Do I make a giant water and how the water will bounce and flow back? So it's very scientific. So I was able to implement that into building my stage. And obviously my master's in business, even though it was in medical administration, you learn so much when you're doing your master's degree. You compare companies and stuff. So without knowing, when I was working in different companies, I'm like, oh, I really like this. I want to implement this. I like this. No, I don't like this. I don't want my company based on intimidation. I want equality. I want everyone to have a say. So I was able, everything I learned in school by comparing companies and stuff like that, that's why they make me write all those papers. So, when I was writing them, I was really upset. I'm like, this is waste my time, but it wasn't. I learned. And they teach you skills. So when I was working at Warner Brothers and I saw an opportunity to open my stage, I did a PowerPoint presentation. I took it to my boss. I'm like, hey, I think you should give me all the extra work, the overflow because of this. And he's like, okay. I'm like, no, I want to give you a presentation. He goes, no, you got it. I'm like, I went to school for this. You're going to sit down and watch my presentation. He's like, okay. I worked, when I came back from med school, someone at Warner Brothers, they had 2 stages and they have day shift, night shift for both stages, and someone wasn't feeling well and they had me go in and replace her for the day, or they can't work because a union, you have to have 2 people. I went in, I worked, and the next day they basically offered me her job. I'm like, well, I don't do that. I don't take people's work, so no. They're like, well, she doesn't want to work anyway. I'm like, okay, let me call her. So I called her. I'm like, hey, so I heard they offered me your job. I will not take it if it's your job. Because it's a really small community. One of the things you learn, you can't burn bridges. You can't do stuff like that. She's like, oh no, I'm out. I'm like, okay, perfect, I'll take it. So then I took the job. I worked for 3 years there. Just, I knew down the line I'm meant to work, kind of run a company. But just get to know everyone, learn how the workflow there, what their expectations. The company that I have, Real Foley Sound, it's really positive environment. We are all equals. When I go into the Foley stage, my Foley partner and I and the mixer, there's 3 of us, we are equals. I am not your boss. A lot of times when you see me on my videos, I ask Arno or Erica or Jordan, my mixers, hey, how was that? Did you guys like that? Do you want another one? So it's a team effort. So we're all in this together. The company is not it's our company. It's not gonna go up without, all of us. So basically, like I said, they give us a show, the video, and we have to do everything from the whole thing. We cover the entire thing. They give us the cues, which is, for example, Kim's track, Lauren's track, Sanaa's track, we're all actors in the show. So we go through and do each person, and then cloth, feed, then props, right? So then if we have questions about if the floor looks marble, but it sounds wood, and they cued it wood, but it looks marble, usually we'll call the sound supervisor for that show. I usually text them and be like, hey, that was cued as, wood, but it looks marble. I know in production sounds wood. Are you sure you want me to play it that way? And they'd be like, oh, no, it was a mistake. It absolutely looks marble. The set sounds wooden, but it's actually marble. So yes, thank you for paying attention. Yeah, do it marble. So that's what we usually, we answer to. Sometimes they do have spotting sessions, or they always have spotting sessions, and they'll send me this is what the client really wants, pay attention to these. They want, even though it looks this way, they want it this way. So we're doing everything. We just emphasize whatever is most important to the client and the way they want to hear it. So we could have 3 to 4 shows going on a day. So we have 2 stages, 2 shifts going on each stage. So I usually get the most difficult ones. And me and either we with Matt or Luke, we always have 2 people together working, 2 artists. So I usually take on the hardest ones, like Shameless, like Batwoman, all the big ones, Kung Fu, like everything big with a lot of fighting. Plus, if you see my videos, I have my Foley partner, Matt. I have another video where I had myself, Matt, and Adam DeCoster, who works on big features, who works with me like 3 times a week. He's quite amazing. So when we walk together, I'm the one that sounds bigger than all the guys. so, so I was like, oh my God, where is this sound coming from? So it's pretty fun to work with the guys, and I sound bigger than them. Matt Salib has been with me from the beginning of the company. When I first opened my company, when I was working at this studio, he was training. He was mixing first, then he started to move into doing more Foley, and he would call me because people will not show him how to do stuff. He would call me, he goes, how do you do grass? How do you do this? I'm like, of course, just do this and do it. So he really loved that I was helping him. So when I opened my company, he was working somewhere else, and I'm like, Matt, I'm really tired. I can't do doubles. I need you. Please come work with me. So first he was helping me out, then he came full time with me. So he's like a little brother, a big little brother. It's nice to do TV and do features at the same time. Like, we love that. We did few features last year. We did Safety, which got nominated for Golden Reel Awards. So when recording animation, we don't do a cloth pass unless they ask for it. And miking techniques is also different because for TV and features and stuff, it's mic'd pretty far. They have to give it a more of a natural versus cartoons, unless they want it to be really realistic and like TV, a lot of times you're closer mic'd, a lot of quick steps. I remember years ago, well, definitely the technology got better. So before you had to be on, it's really hard. For example, if I miss a step here or there, it's okay because they could go on the computer, they see it and they move it. Back then it wasn't tape, so it takes 13 seconds to lock, everything has to lock up, all the machines. So it took much longer to do feature movies, and the mixer had to punch in and they had to go good on the punch, because if not, you're gonna hear a click if it comes halfway through. So it was a lot more difficult. Now it's more accurate, more streamlined. And I think as a woman, I think it's getting better and safer for us, because people are more aware and they're more I feel like I've been sheltered because like I said, working for Warner Brothers, they always make sure you're good, make sure you're safe. No one, is overstepping, you're always comfortable. So I feel like I've been lucky that I have to deal with that versus when I work at, smaller studios. There was a lot of times where it was not safe. I didn't feel comfortable. My boss wants a hug and wants to sit there and watch, makes you feel uncomfortable. As a woman, you're scared, especially when you work night shifts. Am I okay to be here? So you have to be careful too. So yeah, I mean, it's changing for the better, which makes me happy. So a lot of people, they try to cut Foley, which doesn't sound very natural because Foley is really acting with sound. It's not one footstep should sound the same. It should sound different. It should have definition. It should be dynamic, more weight, less weight, not like a robot. If it's like a robot, you can cut it. It's good to maybe call studios and be like, hey, are you teaching anyone? Maybe they want to learn my project, I have a lot of students actually, since I started TikTok, almost 3 months now. I have a lot of students that reach out to me. He's like, hey, I'm doing a student film. How do I do this? I'm at home, it's COVID. I'm like, okay, tell me exactly what you need. They're like, oh, it's a box, and I don't have a box, like a milk. I'm like, do you have, you could just close your eyes and try to listen what something could sound like. Because on average, it takes about 6 years to be a good artist, reasonably okay to get a job. Still not great. It takes a lot of time. I mean, people have to sit there for hours watching what you're doing, without being able to do anything. And then they can't really work because we have certain amount of time to finish the work. It's going to slow us down, so then it's really tedious to get a natural sounding footstep. You could do it the union way. I am the union as well. And when you're in the union, you could work union jobs and non-union for Foley artists. And we're part of the Editors Guild. So we have a choice to do both because not all projects are union. So by having my own company, I could work both. First step, I think everyone should know that Foley artists do not teach. They do not teach unless you're their child, family member, close friends, because they want to keep the community very small. And it takes years and years to learn. Because if you're teaching someone, it really slows you down. You have 8 hours to get the work done. So someone is going to have to want to sit there and patiently watch. And then they have to go home and practice. The advantage people have right now is all the Foley artists have videos now. So you could go and watch and learn and practice. So when people are asking me, well, how do I do Foley? You have videos. Like, do it to my video, do my sound as I'm doing it. I'm doing it to a picture. You have me doing it, you do it. Mute my sound and then listen to it after. Was sync good? Did it sound like mine? Did it sound better? Great. Watch other videos. Maybe I'm not doing it right for you. Maybe other people are doing Foley the way you like to do it. I know I do my crazy hand moves, which I had no idea I was doing, but until I started doing these videos, some people don't, just find who you're able to watch. Also, find internships it doesn't have to be a Foley stage. It could be music, it could be recording voices, ADR. You just get to know every aspect of the film business. I sat in a mix room or the dubbing mix for over a year, just listening. Okay, when they get the Foley, they get the music, they get the dialogue. When it's all mixed together, this is what it's supposed to sound like. Then I get to know, they don't like small feet. They don't like high ends. So then I was learning that by sitting there and watching. Keywords, Foley. Like usually we talk about cues. Like someone goes through and cues if they get the whole, let's say TV show, for example, and someone goes is a cuer, that person, an editor, cuer, goes and cues everything. Like, for example, I'm going to put hand to hand. So someone goes through and right when the hand touches the hand, they put a cue there. It's like a blank region. Beeps are usually for ADR, like when actors go and do their lines, and for Foley and stuff. So there's 3 beeps and you hear them a lot in my videos. It's like beep, beep, beep. The 4th imaginary beep is when I do the action. And I also, for my stage, which people have been asking me a lot about, there's this streamer that goes along, this red streamer. When a streamer, like there's a red line here and a red line here. When this touches this, that's when I do the action. So I have the beeps in case I'm daydreaming, the beep's gonna wake me up. And I know the 4th imaginary beep, and when the line touches the line, that's when I do my action. It's either foot down or hand to hand. So usually you hear people like, go on the beep, go on the 4th beep. So a lot of some Foley artists, they don't go on the 4th beep. So then, they miss the first step. And, the mixer then has to nudge it and gets a little bit annoying if you miss the first step every time. So they say, go on the beep, go on the streamer. The cues is the stuff I explained. Usually we do cloth movement first. So what that means, a lot of people are asking, before I get into that, they ask, when you do a film, which clip do you know to do the sound for? Well, we do it for the whole thing, from beginning to end. So the first thing we do is we do what's called a cloth movement. We get soft cloth that's not harsh, that's not ticky, that's not high-endy, smooth, and we just move it in our hand. So if I raise like an actor raises their arm, we do our movement. When they're walking, we do the walking footsteps. And if there's 3 people on the scene, the one that talks, the more prominent, the most movement is the one I do cloth for. The other ones I cannot ignore. If there's nothing going on and just slight movement, I just do it very lightly. Because if I'm an actor, I'm talking and I'm going, oh my gosh, this is so funny. The microphone is gonna pick up my hand pat more than my dialogue, as you probably did too, right? So what's going to happen, the dialogue is really important, as the audience wants to hear what the actor is saying. So what they're gonna have to do, as an actor, I'm gonna have to go to the studio and redo my lines to match perfectly, which is called ADR. And Foley is gonna do this. So then the dubbing mixer is gonna mix up the dialogue and mix down the hand pad so you could hear the dialogue. So this is true for the whole movie from beginning to end. They do it for everything, because you're not going to have them do ADR where then they're in a studio, it's completely clean, when before they have a mic connected to them. I don't know, wherever they have it, a boom mic, where there's clock movement and there's nothing. And when it gets dubbed to another language. So yeah.